ఓం శ్రీ గురుభ్యో నమః. అందరికీ నమస్కారం. See, one disciple has asked his master like this: Master, how did we happen? What is the purpose of all this? What happens after we die? Then the master replied like this: My dear, the question you should be asking is not what is the purpose of human life, but what is the purpose of your life. Before I share with you the reply, I am reminded of an anecdote. A Zen monk was sitting under a banyan tree. Coincidentally, he was pondering over exactly the same questions of birth, death, and more. His master's answers could not satisfy him. The scriptural thought did not appeal to him. The teachings of Buddha could not douse his curiosity. Just when he thought that there was no answers to his questions, a mighty gust of wind blew, blew, and the leaves started fluttering. One of the leaves could cling to the tree no longer and got detached. The wind raised it high up in the air and tossed it around before thumping it on the ground. It was as if the leaf was caught in a tornado. My life is like the leaf, he realized. No matter what I want or how much I want to hold on to the tree of life, one day I will be disconnected. This severance, this severance is not death, but the beginning of another life. And like the leaf, I will be flung around. The tornado of desires will pitch me around. There is no sense in resistance. I must go with the flow before ending up on the ground. Even then, this is not death, but the start of another life still. As I decompose, I will become part of earth. I will continue to live in millions of other organisms. The cycle is eternal. This was his realization, not necessarily mine or yours. Moving on what I said to the one who raised the question, Master said like this: Even if someone gave you the most accurate answer, you still may not accept it because there is no way to verify its validity. Everything on our horizon, death and afterlife, is a theory with no difference. At the most, some sound more plausible than the others. There is no heaven or hell. There is no supernatural creator. There is no universal purpose applicable to all individuals. There may even be no individual purpose because the quest for purpose is a craving of the conscious mind only. Why does a sense of purpose disappear in sleep, or when one is unconscious, or in an infant? As we grow, a sense of ego, of individuality makes us feel that life cannot be meaningless. This notion of meaning is simply a pointless ramble of the conscious mind. The brutal truth is that every being, every single entity, if anything, is merely an insignificant, dispensable, and disposable aspect of nature whose self-fulfilling purpose is to sustain itself. This is the brutal truth, my dear. The theory of evolution is the most sensible response to the question of how did we happen. But it does not give us the complete picture because it misses out on the basis of evolution. It tries to explain how we happened and not why. Why do we even take birth or why do we evolve? We do so because, in my view, nature recycles, said the master. If you observe closely, everything in nature is recycled, absolutely everything, my dear. The five elements of earth, water, fire, air, ether, and the innumerable components thereof, all entities living or non living, animate or inanimate, they are all subject to recycling. Everything, including our body, is salvaged by nature. So does our consciousness as it finds a new home after death. Nature's only goal is survival and it accomplishes it through the eternal cycle of transformation. That is how and why we happened. The other day, Master said that when I was walking back to my hut at night, a dog was walking ahead of me. Due to heavy rains, all sorts of creatures had appeared from nowhere. Inadvertently, the dog stepped on a snail. I sat down and flashed my light on the snail. It had turned into a pulp and was crushed under the weight of its own shell. The dog kept looking at me lovingly, completely oblivious to the life it just took. I sat there for a while, bit more, and tiny insects began gathering up on the dead snail. In no time, bigger insects made way into the equation and started devouring their meal. I began and caressed, observing and started drizzling. Meanwhile, the struggle between insects continued, each wanting more. Soon, the soft showers turned into torrents, and the smaller insects ran for cover. A few minutes later, the larger ones fled as well under the heavy downpour, and left in front of me was a a snail, a choked snail. The dog too had taken shelter under the nearby roof. The rain stopped. I waited a bit more and the insects started to return. I looked at the dark sky, at the quiet mountains, at the roaring river. What a magnificent play of nature, I mused. Sunlight during the day had given birth to billions of tiny creatures, and a downpour of a few minutes had wiped them off on the face of the earth. Countless crawls out from the womb of Mother Nature and could, I mean, and countless merge back every moment. I prayed for the sentient being and went back to my hut. I have observed, I have observed ants, insects, fish, snakes, scorpions, owls, deer, bears, boar, baboons, monkeys, and humans. When it comes to nature, when it comes to the inexplicable essence I call God, there is absolutely no difference whether a dog steps on a snail or an elephant on a man, whether a flood destroys 1,000 sheep or a tsunami 1,000 humans. Nature makes no distinction, my dear. human sense of superiority or a conceited notion of being special is merely an arrogant view. It shows lack of understanding and demonstrates an absence of compassion. In the words of the celebrated Chinese thinker and philosopher Wu Xin, it is like this: how many of your questions have been answered, but still you don't have the answer? Is it possible that the answer is not found in more questions? Is it possible that the answer is not found in more concepts, more thoughts? Is it possible that the answer is revealed in their very absence? So, my dear, somehow you believe that every question ought to have an answer, an absolute answer at that. It is a vain and a childish view. The books of the wise ones contain no absolute answers. Why is the universe infinite? What will you say when your child asks you, "Why was I born to you, O mother?" Mother, master can give you the answers, but they won't lead you to your truth. Rather than answering your questions, let us question your answers. Your questions are not a problem, but your answers are, concluded the master. So, this is all about the how did we happen. Thank you all.